I had a really bad idea tonight, and the idea was to make this video. I thought I'm going to make a video and tell people just to quit wholesaling now. Just quit. If you're trying to get started or you've been working at it for, a year or whatever and you haven't got any traction, just quit because it's hard. It's hard to do if you're not determined to get it done. And you might be saying to yourself, well, David, I am determined, right? I've been buying courses and I've been doing, through kind of trying to figure out what CRM I should get and all this stuff. But it's more than that. You have to, you have to have such a burning desire in your gut that you're determined to make it. Because a lot of people decide to do a lot of things. We decide to diet. We decide to get our real estate license. We decide to, this year I'm really going to go and learn how to scuba dive. But we don't do it because it's a passing fad, right? You get excited about it, but then the adrenaline wears off and you don't do it. And wholesaling is like that too, right? You hear about it, you see it on TikTok, you see it on YouTube, whatever. Oh, that seems great. People make a lot of money in real estate. That's what I'm going to do. But then you don't follow through, right? There's a book, Think and Grow Rich. And in the book, they talk about the secret. They keep referring to the secret of Think and Grow Rich. And I'm going to spoil the book for you. The book's been out for 50 years or something, but I'm going to spoil it for you. The secret that they talk about, that they never disclose, but the secret they talk about is the law of attraction, right? Becoming successful is about not only just becoming obsessed with the thing and, becoming what you think about, but you have to take action at it, right? You have to actually do it because you want it so bad. You've got that fire in your gut. You want it so bad that even if you're scared or nervous or whatever, you're going to go do it. And I've talked to people for years that want to be wholesalers that, they're buying courses and they're talking about it and they're getting their system set up and all these things, but they won't go to a real estate meeting, which is one of the main things you should do, right? Go be around other people that are doing what you want to do, right? But they're too scared and they won't get past the fear just to go do it, to go be at a RIA meeting or a real estate meetup, right? Go to lunch with somebody that's already wholesaling, that's already a real estate investor that's doing it, right? They're too scared to take that step. And if you're too scared to take that step, it's all right. Just quit, right? No harm, no foul. But if you really want it, if you're like, David, go to hell, I want this, then do it. Then frickin' do it. Go to a RIA meeting. All right. I just sent out an email to my email list talking about, my motives behind, the Wholesaler's Toolbox and my YouTube channel and all that stuff. And I promote product and all that. But I don't care if you buy anything, right? I'm an affiliate marketer too. But I rather you succeed over buy something from me. If you want to be a real estate wholesaler, you don't need software. You don't need courses. You don't need business cards. You don't need any of it. I didn't have any of it when I started. All right. I got in my car and I started driving for dollars. I made up little letters that said, hey, I want to buy your house, and I taped them on doors. And that's it. I didn't have business cards, didn't have a website, didn't have PropStream, Deal Machine, any of it, right? I didn't have any of it for over a year until I started making a lot of money. And then I thought, well, I'm going to try some other stuff and added them into the mix. All right. But I've always had an advantage from the time that I was in my teens. All right. When I wanted to do something, there was nobody going to stop me from doing it. I installed industrial tires in my early 20s. I installed forklift tires. It was a greasy, hard, sweaty job where I was constantly smashing my fingers and losing fingernails and all that stuff. And we had a salesman that would come into the shop when I was working and sweating and doing all this stuff. And he'd come in his polo pants or, polo shirt, khaki pants. And he was clean, and, I was like, strutting around and all that stuff. And I thought, man, that's the job that I want. That's the job that I want. I want to be a salesman. And I begged and begged, and they finally said, all right, we'll let you do it, but you got to hire, or you got to train your replacement. That's fine, right? So they finally found somebody. I trained them, and they said, boom, you're a salesman. And I remember the first sales call I made. I was so scared, and I was so crappy at it. I don't know how I made it through that sales call, right? My mouth was dry, my heart's pounding and all that because I was scared. But I wanted to be a successful salesman more than I was afraid, right? I just wanted it more. I had that burning desire in my gut to want it. And I wasn't a good salesman anytime soon. It took a lot of calls and a lot of fear, right? And a lot of reading books and learning and doing all that stuff before I got there, right? But eventually I did, because I don't give up. Same thing when I went into real estate and into mortgage and all these other things. I wasn't good, but I was more determined than everybody else. And that's how you need to be if you really want to do this, right? And again, I talk to people all the time that are struggling, that have tried to do this for years, right? If you want it, do it. If you want it, go to the RIA meetings and get out and drive for dollars or make phone calls or whatever it is. And it's okay if you suck, and it's okay if you're scared, but you have to do it. And then what happens is when you do it enough, the scare goes away and the suckiness goes away. And then all of a sudden, you're good at it. There was a saying that I used in a sales presentation a long time ago, and I saw it on a church marquee, right? I was driving by and I saw it on the marquee before this presentation I had to give, and I used it in the presentation. But it said, it takes years of hard work to become an overnight success. And it's true. You see all these coaches and all the gurus and everybody online saying, oh, how easy it is. Follow my system, do my thing. And, in 30 days, you'll be making the money. But that's the exception, not the rule. The truth is that for most people, for 99% of us, it's going to take some hard work to get there. You're not just going to, I'm going to wholesale, and then next week, you close a deal for, 80 grand. It's not going to happen. I mean, it could. Fluky things happen. But you have to work at it. When I started wholesaling, I had success quickly, right? I went out and I started driving for dollars, and I was determined. I put notes on doors and I drove up and down streets, just put notes on doors, as hard as I could. People started to call me. I started to go look at the properties and all that. But I had put in years of work to get to that level. I'd been in real estate. I'd flipped houses for investors. I was rehabbing houses. I'd inspected houses. I talked to people about mortgages and real estate and all that for years. So yeah, I had quick success, but it's because I put in the years of work to get there. All right. And the same with all these other guys, anybody you can point to in the real estate world that, gets on YouTube or gets on TikTok and tells you how magical it is for them, right? Oh, I just started doing it and I had all the success. The truth is that they already had some skill, right? It might not have been in wholesaling, but they had sales skills, or they had business skills, or they had, something. They had something, a launch pad to be successful, right? And I'm not going to point my finger at people, but there's younger gurus out there that claim like, oh, I'm a young kid and I had all the success. but they had help because they knew people that were already in the business, right? So, don't compare yourself to others. Don't look at others and go, man, they're young and they had all the success and I'm not having it. It's because they had help, okay? So, listen, there's no shame in quitting. If it's not for you, it's not for you. But if you really want to do it, you really want to be a wholesaler, a real estate investor, be in the real estate industry, whatever, or just change your life, no matter what it is, right? You have to do it. You have to say, you know what, I'm going to stop making excuses and get out and do it. Now, I didn't read this book until like last year. And there's a book, it's called The One Thing, right? And what The One Thing talks about, you should get this book and read it. But what The One Thing talks about is picking the one thing that's the most important to you and just so hardcore focusing on that thing that nothing else matters, right? And that's how you get success. It's not by picking 20 things. So it's like, oh, I'm going to wholesale and I'm going to get my real estate license and I'm going to be a title agent and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that. You can't do all those things at once, right? People get this shiny object syndrome and they're all, bouncing around and all that stuff. Pick the thing you're going to do, be it wholesaling, be it be an internet marketer, be it, a YouTube person, whatever your gut's telling you, this is the thing, okay? And then commit to doing that thing until you accomplish it. And then if you want to do something else, go do something else, all right? But you got to do that thing in endlessly, and you've got to wake up thinking about it and go to bed thinking about it. Surround yourself with people that are successful, that are doing it, whatever you can do to make it happen, okay? And that's how you wholesale or anything else. All right, so that's my message. Either quit wholesaling now, or commit to doing it. That's the message.